Krishna Kishore to hear him read the Adhyatma Ramayana. What tremendous faith Krishna Kishore had. Once, while at Vrindavan, he felt thirsty and went to a well. Near it, he saw a man standing. On being asked to draw a little water for him, the man said, "I belong to a low caste, sir. You are a Brahmin. How can I draw water for you?" Krishna Kishore said, "Take the name of Shiva. By repeating his holy name, you will make yourself pure." The low caste man did as he was told, and Krishna Kishore, orthodox Brahmin that he was, drank that water. What tremendous faith! Once a holy man came to the bank of the Ganges and lived near the bathing ghat at Aryadaha, not far from the Dakshineswar. We thought of paying him a visit. I said to Haladari, "Krishna Kishore and I are going to see a holy man. Will you come with us?" Haladari replied, "What is the use of seeing a mere human body which is no better than a cage of clay?" Haladari was a student of the Gita and Vedanta philosophy, and therefore referred to the holy man as a mere cage of clay. I repeated this to Krishna Kishore. With great anger he said, "How impudent of Haladari to make such a remark! How can he ridicule as a cage of clay the body of a man who constantly thinks of God, who meditates on Rama, and has renounced all for the sake of the Lord? Doesn't he know that such a man is the embodiment of spirit?" He was so upset by Haladari's remarks that he would turn his face away from him whenever he met him in the temple garden and stopped speaking to him. Once Krishna Kishore asked me, "Why have you cast off the sacred thread?" In those days of God vision, I felt as if I were passing through the great storm of Ashwin. There is a note here. The master referred to the great cyclone of 1864. And everything had blown away from me. No trace of any old self was left. I lost all consciousness of the world. I could hardly keep my cloth on my body, not to speak of the sacred thread. I said to Krishna Kishore, "You will understand if he ever happened to be intoxicated with God as I was." And it actually came to pass. He too passed through a God-intoxicated state when he would repeat only the word "Om" and shut himself up alone in his room. His relatives thought he was actually mad and called in a physician. Ram Kaviraj of Natagore came to see him. Krishna Kishore said to the physician, "Cure me, sir, of my malady, if you please, but not of my Om." All laugh. One day I went to see him and found him in a pensive mood. When I asked him about it, he said, "The tax collector was here. He threatened to dispose of my brass pots, my cups, and my few utensils if I didn't pay the tax. So I am worried." I said, "But why should you worry about it? Let him take away your pots and pans. Let him arrest your body even. How will that affect you? For your nature is that of cow." Narendra and others laugh. He used to say to me that he was the spirit, all pervading as the sky. He had got that idea from the Adhyatma Ramayana. I used to tease him now and then, address him as Kha. Therefore I said to him that day with a smile, "You are Kha, taxes cannot move you." In that state of God intoxication, I used to speak out my mind to all. I was no respecter of persons. Even to men of position, I was not afraid to speak the truth. One day, Jatindra, a titled aristocrat of Calcutta, came to garden of Jadu Malik. I was there too. I asked him, "What is the duty of man? Isn't it our duty to think of God?" Jatindra replied, "We are worldly people. How is it possible for us to achieve liberation? Even King Yudhishthira had to have a vision of hell." This made me very angry. I said to him, What sort of man are you? Of all the incidents of Yudhishthira's life, you remember only his seeing hell. You don't remember his truthfulness, his forbearance, his patience, his discrimination, his dispassion, his devotion to God. I was about to say many more things when Hriday stopped my mouth. After a little while, Jatindra left the place, saying he had some other business to attend to. Many days later, I went with Captain to see Raja Saurindra Tagore, a title conferred on Saurindra by the government of India. The word Raja really means ruler of a kingdom. As soon as I met him, I said, I can't address you as Raja or by any such title, for I should be telling a lie. He talked to me a few minutes, but even so, our conversation was interrupted by the frequent visits of Europeans and others. A man of Rajasic temperament, Saurindra was naturally busy with many things. Jatindra, his eldest brother, had been told of my coming, but he sent word that he had a pain in his throat and couldn't go out. One day, in that state of divine intoxication, I went to the bathing ghat on the Ganges at Baranagar. There I saw Jaya Mukherjee repeating the name of God, but his mind was on something else. I went up and slapped him twice on his cheeks. At one time, Rani Rashmani was staying in the temple garden. She came to the shrine of the Divine Mother, as she frequently did when I worshipped Kali, and asked me to sing a song or two. On this occasion, while I was singing, I noticed she was sorting the flowers for worship absent-mindedly. At once I slapped her on the cheeks. She became quite embarrassed and sat there with folded hands. Alarmed at this state of mind myself, I said to my cousin Haladari, just see my nature, how can I get rid of it? After praying to the Divine Mother for some time, with great yearning, I was able to shake off this habit. When one gets into such a state of mind, one doesn't enjoy any conversation but that about God. I used to weep when I heard people talk about worldly matters. When I accompanied Mathur Babu on a pilgrimage, we spent a few days in Benares at Raja Babu's house. One day, I was seated in the drawing room with Mathur Babu, Raja Babu and others. Hearing them talk about various worldly things, such as their business losses and so forth, I wept bitterly and said to the Divine Mother, Mother, where have you brought me? I was much better off in the temple garden at Dakshineswar. Here, I am in a place where I must hear about woman and good, but at Dakshineswar, I could avoid it. The master asked the devotees, especially Narendra, to rest a while, and he himself lay down on the smaller couch. Late in the afternoon, Narendra sang Rakal, Latu. Latu is a young disciple of the master who later became a monk under the name of Swami Adbhutananda. Young Hazra and Priya, Narendra's Brahmo friend, were present. The singing was accompanied by the drum. Meditate, O my mind, on the Lord Hari, the stainless one, pure spirit, through and through. How peerless is the light that in him shines. How soul bewitching is his wondrous form. How dear is he to all his devotees. After this song, Narendra sang, Oh, when will dawn for me the day of blessedness, when he who is all good, all beauty, and all truth will light the inmost shrine of my heart? When shall I sink at last, ever beholding him into that ocean of delight? Lord, as infinite wisdom, thou shalt enter my soul, and my unquiet mind, made speechless by thy sight, will find a heaven at thy feet. In my heart's firmament, O Lord, thou wilt arise as blissful immortality. And as, when the Chakora beholds the rising moon, it sports about for very joy, so too shall I be filled with heavenly happiness, when thou appearest unto me. Thou, one without a second, all peace, the King of kings. At thy beloved feet I shall renounce my life, and so at last shall gain life's goal. I shall enjoy the bliss of heaven while yet on earth. Where else is a boon so rare bestowed? Then shall I see thy glory, pure and untouched by stain. As darkness flees from light, so will my darkest sins desert me at thy dawn's approach. Kindle in me, O Lord, the blazing fire of faith, to be the pole star of my life. O succor of the weak, fulfill my one desire. Then shall I bathe both day and night in the boundless bliss of thy love, and utterly forget myself, O Lord, attaining thee. Narendra sang again. With beaming face, chant the sweet name of God, till in your heart the nectar overflows. Drink of it ceaselessly and share it with all. If ever your heart runs dry, parched by the flames of worldly desire, chant the sweet name of God, and heavenly love will moisten your arid soul. Be sure, O mind, you never forget to chant His holy name. When danger starts in your face, call on Him, your Father compassionate. With His name's thunder, snap the fetters of sin. Come, let us fulfill our heart's desires by drinking deep of everlasting joy, made one with Him in love's pure ecstasy. Now Narendra and the devotees began to sing Kirtan, accompanied by the drum and cymbals. They moved round and round the master as they sang. Immerse yourself for evermore, O mind, in Him who is pure knowledge and pure bliss. Next they sang, Oh, when will dawn for me the day of blessedness, when He who is all good, all beauty, and all truth will light the inmost shrine of my heart? At last, Narendra himself was playing on the drums, and he sang with the master, full of joy. With beaming face, chant the sweet name of God. When the music was over, Sri Ramakrishna held Narendra in his arms a long time and said, You have made us so happy today. The floodgate of the master's heart was opened so wide that night that he could hardly contain himself for joy. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. Intoxicated with divine love, he paced a long veranda north of his room. Now and then he could be heard talking to the Divine Mother. Suddenly he said in an excited voice, What can you do to me? Was the master hinting that Maya was helpless before him, since he had the Divine Mother for his support? This is a passage from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Advice to Householders, chapter 4. It's a beautiful passage, where it is said to have happened on October 16th, 1882. And it was a Monday, and just a few days before Durga Puja. So Yam had, I think schools were closed, so Yam came. Generally he used to come on Sundays or other holidays, but it was a Monday, but Yam came there. And Yam brought some more people also, and he saw Rakhal, Ramlal, Hazra, they were there. Naren was there, and he explains that Naren had a midday meal with the master. And master asked Naren to stay with him in the same room. See, master had two cots, one big cot and one small cot. He used to sleep on the big cot, and in the small cot he used to sit and speak to the devotees. And exactly the same situation is still there in the Dakshineswar. If you go now, you can see the two cots are there. So, master was sitting there, but where will Naren sleep? So, noontime rest is a must. So, after the good lunch, you must have, at least 1 hour siesta. So, where do you land? So, he asked somebody to put the mat there. So a mat was put and it was spread, over which a quilt was also put with a white sheet. And a few cushions and pillows were completed, and it became a simple bed. And like a child, the master sat near Narendranath on the bed and he was talking to him. You see, that is the very beautiful thing. When master used to talk to his disciples, he used to narrate his experience of spiritual life, either his sadhana time or what anubhuti, that experiences that he had, he used to share with these devotees. When the householder devotees come on Sundays, master would give lot of instructions to them, but rarely would speak about his own experiences. But when he is alone with this type of boys, you find that he is talking about his own experiences. And a few experiences he was telling, in that he was talking about one Krishna Kishore. He was a great Pandit. He used to come to see Ramakrishna very much. And because he was a Vaishnavite, though he was originally a Vaishnavite, he had great faith in Shiva's name also. And master used to make fun of him. He used to tease him, tease the others, particularly on the Ekadashi days. On the Ekadashi day, one day he came and master asked Krishna Kishore, okay, today is Ekadashi, you must have had upas, fasting. So generally people observe fasting on Ekadashi. So there are Nirjala Ekadashi also is there, where you don't take a drop of water, and some people have done. And I also practiced for a few years Nirjala Ekadashi and got into trouble with the gallbladder stones. And the doctor told me, don't do any more fasting. So at least something you must eat, he said. So Nirjala Ekadashi also is there. But this Krishna Kishore Ekadashi is something funny. So master asked him, so did you eat anything, or you are having complete fasting? You know, complete fasting, fruit fasting with fruits, or fasting with suji. Many people take suji and take fast because it's not grain like rice, So they take suji and then fast. And some people fast with milk added to that fruits. So like that. So he asked, did you fast today? He said, yes, I am fasting today. So you didn't eat anything? In an innocent way, master like a child asked him. He said, no, I ate something, very little, he said. What did you eat? He said, 1 dozen bananas and 2 mangoes and then lychee fruit, 1 full bunch. Like that he went on, and then 1 cup of milk also. So whenever anybody else comes and tells master that I am having Ekadashi fasting today, he would ask, is it Krishna Kishore Ekadashi? So we also make fun with our devotees, Oh, you are observing Ekadashi, means what type of Ekadashi you want to know? Is it Krishna Kishore Ekadashi? But Krishna Kishore was a very great devotee, and he was very friendly to master. And master would tell him, he had such a wonderful feelings about great men, particularly sant, sadhus, wherever they are. And master had great interest, If he learns somebody has come and staying in some pada, somewhere in Calcutta, he would tell Krishna Kishore, come with me, let us go and see. You see, though he is a Paramahansa, people have to come and see him, but instead he himself would go to those places and meet those saints. Whatever saint is. And many saints would come to Dakshineswar and they would stay there, and master would go to them and start speaking to them and make some friendship with them. Like that many people he has seen. So suddenly he heard about Krishna Kishore coming there, and he said, Krishna Kishore, one saint has come. Can we go and meet? He said, yes, I will take you on a particular day. So the day was fixed. Now, Haladari was there. Haladari is one of the nephews of master. And Haladari is a dry Vedanti. Dry Vedanti, that's why he used to tell Naren, don't go and sit with Haladari. He will make you dry. The dry Vedanta, master did not like. He wanted Vedanta of Jnana Bhakti Mishra. That is a mixture of Jnana and Bhakti. Only pure Jnana is not going to take you anywhere. So master knew that, and he used to tell him, don't associate yourself with Haladari. You to just warn him. And he says, because this person Haladari was like that. He was he was a student of Gita and Vedanta philosophy. And he used to speak from the Vedantic point of view. Anything that you tell him. So, Master in a very innocent way went and told Haladari, we both, myself and Krishna Kishore, are going to see a saint who has come to this country, the place. So, are you coming with us? Just he asked him. And Haladari was such a terrific reply he gave to Master. Master could not stand that. But Master is telling the experience of Haladari, of Krishna Kishore here, that Haladari said, what you will gain by going and seeing a cage of clay? He said, the body of a saint is a cage of clay. Cage. Cage means what? It is where something is kept. What is kept there? Clay. After all, the body is going to the mati. From mati it came, from the earth it came, and it will go back to earth. So it's a clay only. So the clay body is there. You are going to see that. What else is there? Like that Haladari spoke from the Vedantic point of view. Now, then Master was very upset. So he told Krishna Kishore, okay, you have come to take me, I am going with you. But this is what Haladari said. And Krishna Kishore got so wild. He said, what? And how Krishna Kishore reacted, you see. Again, to read that portion. He says, how impudent of Haladari to make such a remark. How can he ridicule as a cage of clay the body of a man who constantly thinks of God, who meditates on Rama and has renounced all for the sake of the Lord? Doesn't he know that such a man is the embodiment of spirit? When you think that spirit, that is Brahman or Atman, is everywhere, and in the body of a person who thinks of God always, so in him also God is there. So how can you say it's a mere cage of clay? So Haladari gets upset. And when he used to come afterwards to Dakshineswar, sometimes when Haladari used to pass before him, he would turn his face and he would not talk to him. Because he disrespected the monks. He disrespected the saints. So that is what, such was the devotion of Krishna Kishore. And what a faith in the God's name he had. Another incident, Sri Ramakrishna quotes of Krishna Kishore. What is that incident? Once he was traveling in North India and he saw a low caste man near the well. And Krishna Kishore got very thirsty. Now he wanted to take water. So he went there and told that man, can you just bring some water from the well so that I can drink? So that man was upset. He said, oh, you see, because seeing Krishna Kishore, he could understand he is a Brahman. I am a low caste man. From my hand, if I give you water, what people will say? Like that he was hesitant. He was not willing to give water to him. Then Krishna Kishore said, take the name of Shiva. He is a Vaishnava, mind you. But he says to him, take the name of Shiva, you will get purified. Then your caste is over. You are no more a low caste. You are equivalent to me because you are a devotee of God. For devotees of God, no caste differences. That is what Sri Ramakrishna says. That we are all one caste, belonging to one caste. What is that caste name? The caste name is only devotees. We are all Bhagavan's Bhakto. Bhakto there is Jat nahi. Bhakto there is Acta Jat. Only one caste. And that all devotees are belonging to one caste. Much before the caste differences to be removed, etc., those ideas came, Harijan ideas of Gandhiji, etc., came. Much before, when Swamiji started Belur Math, during Durga Puja time, he made everyone sit in one pankti, one line, and fed them. A few Brahmins at that time got up, because seeing the low caste people are also in the same line, they didn't want to take prasad there. And then Swamiji came and shouted at them, what is this? Here is Mother Durga's prasad you are going to have, and here you are seeing caste. In Belur Math, there will be no difference of caste. And he showed also. Swamiji later on, you find that when in the Belur Math, when it started, he brought a few low-caste boys and gave them Upanayana. He gave them Janu also, and he made them Brahmins, equivalent to Brahmins. So that caste difference was not there. That's why in the Ramakrishna order, you'll be surprised to know ours was the premier order of monks, where the boys who are interested to become monks from any caste is accepted. There was a time to become a monk in the Hindu Sampradaya is to be only from the Brahmin caste. No other person, no other from any caste has got the right to become a monk. That was the situation once upon a time, and that was changed by Swamiji. You see, when Swamiji went, that's why it's called Yuga Pravartak, who is a beginner of new methods in our religious life. So Swamiji was such. He had direct contact with Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna got all those ideas put into Vivekananda, and Vivekananda created a very big revolution, which today we may not be able to see that, but in those days you must compare it and see what a revolutionary idea it was. And Krishna Kishore was very wonderful man, and he says, and then one day he asked Master that, why did you remove the sacred thread from your body? So, and Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, what I should tell you. So, he says that I cannot explain to you what was the mood at that time. He says, it was like the great cyclone of 1864. So, Master was born in 1836, So, 1864 cyclone he has seen, that like the cyclone came, when big trees were uprooted and buildings collapsed, that type of cyclonic effect was there on me. It's called bhava. Bhava means that emotion was like that. At that time he says, nothing was with me. No trace of my old self was left. That means I am Gadadhar. I am this such and such name. I was born in Kamarpukur. All those identities were forgotten. He completely forgot, and not even clothes he could keep on his body. How he could think of keeping a jenu? So he said, nothing was there on my body, and so I lost all consciousness of the world. He says, oh, if only that happens to you, you will understand my situation. Then later he says, yes, Krishna Kishore also had this. He also had this experience later. This experience, this is called bhava. This the ocean of bhava. This comes on one person's spiritual life. At that time, he can't see any difference between people, between things, between situations, and he is completely taken from the normal level of our consciousness. That's why he says, I lost all consciousness of the world. His mind was completely absorbed in God only. So that's what I said to Krishna Kishore, if you will understand this, if you ever happen to be intoxicated, and Sri Ramakrishna has told him, if it ever will happen to you, that means it must happen. And Krishna Kishore had that. It actually came to pass. So Krishna Kishore also passed through a God intoxicated state when he would repeat only the Om, and he would shut up himself in a small room like a cave, and he would be sitting there, and he was doing the Omkara sadhana. As we say that about, recently we had a retreat in London, so my talk was on Om. So I was telling the people there how this Omkara sadhana itself is so wonderful. All the mantras, any type of mantra you take, all the mantras dissolve into one source mantra, and that is Gayatri mantra. And Sri Ramakrishna says that whole of Gayatri mantra again dissolves into another source, and that's Adi source, the most original source, and that is the syllable Om. So Om is Ekaksharam. Gita says Ekaksharam. It is one syllable. one syllable, we say Om. In that Om, A, U, Ma, like the three letters are there. But when combined together, put together, it is called Om. So that Om, this Krishna Kishore used to do this Omkar sadhana. And then he was praying to Lord, oh Lord, keep my mind on Om. Let me not forget, even whatever bhava comes, but let me not forget the Omkar. That Om is such a wonderful, that will take itself for 2 hours to speak about Om. Such a wonderful idea, this Omkar. So, then he says, and he used to say to Sri Ramakrishna, I am spirit. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am spirit, he used to say. So Sri Ramakrishna used to use one Adhyatma Ramayana, one word comes to mean the spirit, that is Ka. So Ka means that spirit. So he used to tell him, one day Krishna Kishore was in a troubled mood and he came to Master and told him, Master looked at him, he understood, why you are in this pensive mood, what has happened to you? He said, no, the tax collector has come, I could not pay him fully. And he is threatening me that he will take away all the utensils from my home. So I am really worried. Then Master made fun with him. Instead of consoling him, how to overcome the situation, Master is making fun with him. He says, hey, you used to say that you are spirit. For spirit, what is their vessels he is taking? Let him take away. You are not affected anything. Like that he made fun to him and reduced the depression. You see, like that so many ways human people can be handled, So, I do not know what Enneagram number he was. But Sri Ramakrishna very nicely put to him and made fun of him. That you are Ka, you are a spirit. So, why you are worried about utensils? Like that he made fun. Because this idea comes in Adhyatma Ramayana. I used to tease him now and then. Therefore, I said to him that day with a smile, taxes cannot move you. And then, another experience, he says, how in that God intoxicated mood, another thing happens to a human being. What is that? He can't, as you said that there is no caste differences between the persons. Also, a person of high status in a society or a person of low status, that cannot be understood. Both all become same to him. In a God intoxicated, you cannot find difference. Oh, he is a big magistrate, so he should be given a VIP seat. And he is a very ordinary man. He should sit on the floor only. Not like that. So he says, Jatindra came to garden of Jadumalik. Jadumalik was a very big rich man, and Master used to go there and see. You know that Christ and Mary, and Christ as a child, Mary holding the child. That photo in Jadumalik's house only Sri Ramakrishna saw. Seeing that photo, Sri Ramakrishna went into Samadhi. That's why on Christmas Eve day, in all the centers, we keep that photo. That picture is kept. So, the Jadumalik was a very big man, very rich man, he had a very big estate, etc. So, in his garden house, my master was sitting, talking to Jadumalik, and Jatindra came. Jatindra was a big man. He is an aristocrat, titled as aristocrat. That means some of the aristocrats of Calcutta have been given titles, like Rai Bahadur, like that. See, those titles they carry. Along with their own caste name, some other titles are also added. So, this Jatindra is such a big man. So, he is introduced to Sri Ramakrishna as a big man of Calcutta. So, simply Sri Ramakrishna, asked him, what is the duty of a man? So, you are such a big man, so tell me. So, he said, we are worldly people, so we cannot think of God, etc. Like that he told. That alarmed Sri Ramakrishna. Being such an important man in the society, how you are saying? But he justified his answer by telling, you see Yudhishthira, in Mahabharata Yudhishthira comes, Yudhishthira is the first brother of the Panchapandavas. And Yudhishthira, he had to see the hell. So even if Yudhishthira, of such a dharmic person, had to see a hell, what about us? We are all normal, ordinary people. Like that he said to him. And Sri Ramakrishna got wild. He said, what are you talking? You could see only Yudhishthira seeing hell as as one point of Yudhishthira's life. You didn't never see Yudhishthira's patience, Yudhishthira's dharma, achar, his practice of dharma, his truthfulness, his forbearance, his viveka, his vairagya, and his devotion to God. All those things you never saw. Yudhishthira was like that, It is a great story of Mahabharata when you find all the 5 Pandavas, each one if you take, along with Draupadi and Kunti, you find such great things are there. Each character can be taken up for 1 week talk. So much of matter is there about each man. And Yudhishthira was such a great dharmic person. He stood by dharma, and because he was a dharma putra, Lord Yama is called Dharma, and through the help of Yama, he was born to Kunti. So he is called Dharma putra. And Dharma putra, that original name is Yudhishthira. In Vedantic way, when we explain the names of the Pandavas, we take it like this. The mind is Kurukshetra. Kuru means karma. From that karma word, kru dhatu, the kuru word is kuru means do it. Karma kshetra. In that karma kshetra, what is happening? Lots of thoughts are coming. Not 1, 2, 3 like that, hundreds and hundreds of thoughts are coming. In that, if you analyze the nature of thoughts, some thoughts are very good thoughts and many thoughts are bad thoughts. So what is the ratio between these good and bad if you see? For every 5 good thoughts you think, 100 bad thoughts will come. So in the Kurukshetra, 5 Pandavas, the good people stood, and opposite to them 100 Kauravas. So the bad 100 thoughts and good 5 thoughts. These two are the battle. That is what happening. So Mahabharata, whole Mahabharata is explained as the land or the plot where this battle was happening is nothing but our own mind. So in our own mind, we are having this clash between good and bad. Finally, the good has to win, is it not? Otherwise, what is the use of this human life? So the good must win. So Panchapandavas must win. How they will win? With the help of Sri Krishna. So God's name, God's devotion to God is a must. When that is there with us, so we can also win in our battle over the vices. So, it says God intoxication mind. He says Yudhishthira had such wonderful qualities. And in Sanskrit Vedantic way of explanation, here we bring the names of the Pandavas also very important. Yudhishthira means Yuddhe Sthitaha, one who is well established in battle. That means the battle talent he has got. He is established in the battlefield. If you are not established in the battlefield, you cannot do the battle also. So Yudhishthira is the first son who made established in that field. And then Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, these are all these names have got very secretive meanings are there in Vedanta. So when we take Mahabharata class or Gita class, we bring all these things and try to impress upon the people that you see, this Mahabharata is not a mere story. It is itihasa. It definitely happened sometime or other in India. But along with that, it has got some spiritual knowledge also. If you simply take it as a story, it has got, the value is not there. Once it gets value when you attach spiritual meaning to the story. So like that. So Sri Ramakrishna rightfully says, did you not remember his truthfulness, his forbearance, his patience, his discrimination, his dispassion, his devotion to God? I was about to say many more things. When Hriday, who was sitting next to me, he knew who was Jitendra. Perhaps he may put tax on Dakshineswari, So something may happen to Sri Ramakrishna. So he was afraid because he was a big man in Calcutta. He came and put his hand on the mouth of Sri Ramakrishna. Enough, don't talk much, he said. So I kept quiet, he says. So, like that, when you see, when that God intoxicated situation comes in your life, neither you will see any difference between caste, nor you will see the difference between the status of the individuals. What to say about this Jitendra? I have slapped the cheeks of Rani Rasmani herself. Then he immediately remembered that incident along with that. And he says, how it is. Somewhere I read that she was thinking about the legal matters. But here Sri Ramakrishna clearly says that I noticed she was sorting the flowers for worship absent-mindedly. She was sorting the flowers before her absent-mindedly. What was her thinking at the time? About some legal problem she was thinking. So Sri Ramakrishna got up and she only told Sri Ramakrishna, the Choto Bamun, she would call, that a younger Brahmin priest, she would call him. And she told, whenever she would come to the temple, she would ask Ramakrishna to sing a song. Because Master had such a beautiful voice. And when he used to sing, it was like a Devatas, Gandharva singing like that she used to feel. And she has told him also, your singing is so wonderful. Why don't you sing some song? So Master started singing. And while singing, he was absorbed in singing. That is what happens, When you are absorbed in God and you look at somebody, you know the mind of the other person. How do you come to know the other person's mind, what is happening, unless you connect your mind to God, who is the cosmic mind? When you connect to cosmic mind, all the other minds are open books before you. And Sri Ramakrishna saw Rani Rasmani and her mind was wavering, going on somewhere. You asked me to sing a song and you are not listening to the song. Your mind is somewhere else. So straight away he came and then he slapped her. Poor lady. And then, of course it is said in the description, her praharis were there, the watchmen. They were standing there. They saw and they came to beat Sri Ramakrishna. And it is said that Rani Rasmani stopped them. No, stop. What he did was right. My mind was wavering. I should have put my mind on Mother Kali's feet. Instead of that, my mind was wavering. He did the right thing, she said. And then she stopped. Those people, they were all her bodyguards, you see. So they wanted to protect their Rani. But she was a Rani Rasmani and he did to that. And then he was, since he slapped Rani Rasmani, how Sri Ramakrishna feels later, you see. He felt so bad. Oh, I have slapped Rani Rasmani. What a good thing she has done to me. She only gave him the job there. See, she is the employer and he has done this. So he was feeling very lamenting about that. He is telling to Haladari, to his cousin, alarmed at this state of mind, I said to my cousin, just see my nature. How can I get rid of it? See, if you have a bad habit like this, every time you do like that, it will be very difficult for Sri Ramakrishna and to the others also. But he wanted to get rid of this bad habit. So you may, at a particular emotional state, do something. But later, do you feel that you have done something wrong? If you can feel something wrong, then only you will be able to remove that trait, you see. Otherwise, there will be again and again continuously coming. You speak a lie somewhere. Sometime you tell your dad some lie. Then you understand you have spoken a lie. Then what you will do? When you know that, you must know that I must remove that lying, that speaking lie. I must remove. From tomorrow, I shall not speak a lie. Like that you should think. So for that, what is the help you can take? So Sri Ramakrishna gives a path for all of us. What he says, after praying to the Divine Mother for some time with great yearning, I was able to shake off this habit. So he never slapped Rani Rasmani after that, or neither anybody else. Because he shook off that habit of slapping somebody. Because what he did, he went to Divine Mother and prayed with great yearning. That is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling us. By telling this to Naren, he is teaching all of us. When we find within ourselves some bad quality, some bad thing, then we must go to God, sit before the God and pray to Him with great yearning. With, oh Lord, I have got a bad habit. That habit should be removed. Like that if you pray, God will help. So, and then another aspect of this God intoxication. So, what is that another aspect? Third aspect. The third aspect is, once you are in the God intoxicated state, you will not like to listen to anything of worldly nature. Only you will be happy when somebody speaks of God. So Ramakrishna brings out an example from his own life. Once Mathur Babu took him to Banaras. All the way from Calcutta, they went to Banaras, you see. And Banaras they went. And then in Banaras, lot of people were there came to see Paramahansa. And they were all seated. And very big Babus of Banaras, they were there. And what they were doing, keeping Paramahansa next to them, they were all talking about all worldly things, about business losses. When we go to some houses and then we are invited to some house, and then when we sit there and so many people are there, naturally the talks will turn into so many other things. The politics may come or the weather may come. So many things will come inside. At that time, we must be very careful. So sometimes we feel those talks are not very congenial for our presence. So we slowly and are very mindful of their status in the society, because they are devotees and they are feeding me, I cannot hurt them, you see. So slowly, keeping the niceties of our behavior, we have to slowly change the topic and bring it to the God-centered topic. So when sadhus go outside, so we also feel that how sometimes it goes to, and Paramahansa, he cannot stand 1 minute any types of this type of worldly talks. So in Banaras, they have been talking, and he is telling to Mother Kali, why all the way I had to go to Banaras to hear their business losses? I could have stayed in Dakshineswar itself. Rather in Dakshineswar, I was in a better position. I was able to think about you and I was to speak about you only. But in Benares, after going there to such a holy place, and people around me are talking such nonsense. So, but at Dakshineswar, I could avoid it. If anybody could speak, he could just get up and go away. He could go away to many places in Dakshineswar, So that was nice. So after this, then the time has come for singing. So Sri Ramakrishna gives an indication to Narendra to sing. And Rakha, Latu, Hazra, Priya, Narendra's Brahma friend were present. And the singing accompanied by drum. Narendra can play drum also. He can play tabla, he can play pakwaj. He was very good in pakwaj also. There is a painting of Narendra, that is Vivekananda, with a turban and playing pakwaj. It was only imaginary painting. But Swamiji, because in Swamiji's life we read that Swamiji used to play pakwaj and he used to play violin also. Latu Maharaj says he heard him playing violin. So it is very interesting. So many instruments Narendra knew, and Narendra, that photo is there in a music academy, a music institution near our Bombay ashram. If you go to Mumbai ashram, you can go to that music academy and see the painting. Big painting has been kept there because they are all love the classical music. So in that Swamiji's painting is there. Swamiji is sitting there and playing pakwaj. So Swamiji was playing drum and he was singing. And this song is said to be one of the beautiful songs in Bengali. And we all sing. But the only thing, our devotees here have not learned that song. I think by going to the Gospels in Bengali, those particular songs which Sri Ramakrishna used to sing, we can pick it up. It's such a wonderful songs there. And the meanings, you say in English, the translation is there. How so beautiful meanings are there. And thou one without a second, the Brahman is only one. There is no second. There is a Kaushalya, today's children class, we had the Ramayana, and the teacher taught the children one Prema Mudita Manase Kaho, Ram Ram Ram, that song she taught to them. And before that she was telling the children how the Ramayana, some story she was telling. And it was very nice to hear that. Kaushalya in her previous birth was doing 1000 years tapasya to see Hari. And then Hari appeared before her. He asked her, what do you want? What the boon you want? Then Kaushalya said, you are Antaryami, you know what I want, why I have taken up this tapasya, you fulfill my desire. So Hari said, no, you have to put it in words. Tell me clearly what do you want. Though I know what you want, but I want to hear from you. she said. Then she was thinking in her mind. Now, certain desires are there. Their desires are in mental level, you are very clear. But when you start putting it in writing, there is some problem. Because words are gross form of thought. The exact thought cannot be transferred into word. And words have got certain limitations. The same word, you may understand one meaning, I may understand another meaning. And you, with your understanding, you may write to me. But I receiving the letter, I may think in my understanding. So that may create more rift also. So the words are always, there are certain limitations are there. So what happened was, she was now thinking how to tell him that you must be born to me as my son. For that only she was doing tapasya. Now she is telling Hari that I want you to be my son. If she has stopped, well, very good. She says, if that is not possible, she is feeling that this is very tall order. She is giving to her Lord, you see. But what is not possible for Lord? She could have stopped there itself. But she didn't, because there is a human mind limitations, because she is going to put it in words. And word coming means that original thought is corrupted. It corrupted. So it loosens that its original worth of it. So what happened? She said, if it is not possible, you send somebody equal to you. Now Lord says to Kaushalya, she was Manu's wife, says, what is this? You are giving me a great challenge. In the world, in the whole entire universe, where shall I go and search for my equal? There is no equal to me. I am unique. So I shall be born to you, he says. So what a beautiful way Tulsidas puts it in Ramayana, that Lord Hari says there is no equal to me. He is unique. And that is what the poem here also, the poet says, thou one without a second. That is Brahman. Brahman has got no second. So Lord means the entire universe. If you see that the universe is created by the Lord, and the Lord cannot have somebody equal to him. If there is equal to him, then the Lord has got a supreme power. So if you want to think of God with supreme powers, then he must be, logically speaking also, he must be one only. He cannot be two. So he says, thou one without a second, all peace, the King of kings. What kings? All the kings are put together and one king for all the kings. At thy beloved feet I shall renounce my life, and so at last shall gain life's goal. You renounce and you get it. You renounce so many things. This life you renounce for his name, and then you get the eternal life. So that is a very beautiful song. If you read line by line and try to get into your brain, that let the idea sink into the brain, you will see what a beautiful, what a great joy you get it. And Narendra sings these songs. These are all Brahma Sangeet. Narendra used to sing lot of Brahma Sangeet. Because Brahma Sangeet also, our monks also sing in our mission during many festivals. And Brahma Sangeet, some of the songs are written by Rabindranath Tagore also. And Narendranath B.A., after he finished his graduation, and he was studying BL, at that time itself he brought out a book on songs. That song book is kept in the archive department. When you go to Belur Math, in the museum you can see that. That book is there. It is there. It is an author, Narendranath, name is there. In that book, he included some of the songs of Rabindranath also, some of the Brahma Sangeet. So some of the Brahma Sangeet are so wonderful. They talk about Brahman, but you just, if you are devotee of Kali, or if you are devotee of, say, Ram or Krishna, you can just substitute in your own mind. But all the other adjectives are all will nicely follow into that. So such a beautiful songs are there. And Narendra was Brahma Samaj member. Initially he was a Brahma Samaj member. So he used to know all these songs and he would sing. And when he would sing with so much of fervor, for so much of emotion, and that would be exceedingly, Sri Ramakrishna. See, Sri Ramakrishna gets up. After the music was over, he comes and embraces it. This was very few occasions you find that M is describing how Sri Ramakrishna, he says to him, You have made us so happy today. Sri Ramakrishna did not find more words to express his happiness. He just went and embraced this boy. And he says, and he could hardly contain himself for joy. Such was the divine joy they all had on that day. And we shall proceed later for the next portion of this chapter. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampadrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.